Telestun is against really bad sins, I guess. No, not against really bad sins. Against typical sins is you can predict Telestun if you don't have title, and they do something like they hit you and then they knife throw, and then they Telestun you because knife throw is the last skill they can use before they teleport. Because most people think of knife throw as a ranged skill, not as a melee skill. So that's a good way you can predict Telestun. If like they knife throw you, but then they don't move. Because obviously you probably want to move after someone if you weren't going to Telestun them. That's a good way I get Wayne to fortify sometimes. Like I literally just stop moving. It's a very small maneuver. It sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Like you can also get the same effect if you do this. If you just wait at the end of throw cut, because it kind of looks like that. Anyways, let's go to the lesson. So today we're going to cover the 3 types of spark, which in order are going to be single spark, double spark, and triple spark. Yeah, so we can do that. So the first important thing is, of course, learning how to recognize them. Sage spark is really easy to recognize, so the main difference, again, is just between double and single spark. And their animations are pretty much exactly the same. In fact, hang on. So yeah, there's that, and then single spark has kind of like a double cone, and then double spark has the exact same double cone. Yeah, pretty much the same. The way you recognize it is not by animation, although you can kind of see like a yellow glow when you do double spark that you don't see when you do the single spark. It's a yellow glow that appears slightly late around your character. It's the same one as the AD, although not all of it, just like this part. Yeah. It's the Iron Guard animation or the buff icon that doesn't appear when using or when you do spark. What's up? Wouldn't some skills be better spark than others? Yes. Okay. Yes. So generally, weapon damage is only going to affect. Well, it affects both your physical attack and it affects your weapon attack. So really, actually, it affects your base physical attack. And weapon. So Earth and Rift is going to benefit a lot from it, but generally all other skills are going to increase in about the same way, because all of them are based off of 100% physical attack and then 100 and then some part of weapon. So skills like Rib Strike is going to benefit from Spark, whereas something like Condensed Thorn would not benefit as much because it doesn't have a weapon damage component. Something like this would increase a lot more relative. Spell Cutter just has the base physical damage, so it would benefit from Spark, but not as much as a skill that has base physical and weapon damage component. Something like Earth and Rift, for example. But yes, in general, skills like Rib Strike will benefit more. Skills like Headhunt will benefit more. Spark. So there's a really good example. Do you guys remember Wayne's wizard video? It was called like Nightmares. He was playing Purify Wizard, and it was really OP. Yeah, the creepy music. Okay, so you might want to watch that, Dante. It's a really good video. But near the end, he does something really interesting. He actually uses single spark to block a stun. He actually blocks a stun lock like that. And that's very hard to do. I only have like a 25-30% chance rate, but it's really good because it's yeah, you can do that. The really interesting thing about it is that it says it makes you immune, but it doesn't give you any icon for it. So it's really hard to use. So now I'm just going to talk about single spark. So single spark is kind of what you want to do when you don't want to use, when you want to spark, but you don't want to use inner harmony. So an example of this is that There was this combo that we removed. Basically, I would sleep someone. So like I would get them down to about half HP. And then I would sleep them. And then I would single spark and then power dash. And it basically killed all arcanes 100%, which is why we actually nerfed the sleep. Because if I could sleep an arcane, they would basically die. Pretty funny, actually. But you generally want to use single spark when you want to be fast. Because if I did it with double spark, and then I would have to inner harmony, which actually is, it says it's instant, but it's actually not. So that would give me some delay there. It's also a way to throw off your opponent's timings. So for example, you can like double spark, but then they will see it. Or you could just single spark and attack immediately, and it's 1 second. So some people's fortify can be that. It's really just a small damage boost. I don't really use it unless I'm about to do something like, no, not even Subsea strike. I really only do it for throw cut or headhunt or power dash, and you'll notice that all of them are chi consuming skills. So the reason I use single spark is because I want the extra damage, but I don't want to waste my time using inner harmony, or I don't have inner harmony, for example, and I don't want to use rising dragon strike because that would like break sleep or something. There was this one combo that I used to use a lot. It was made by this Sin named Bait on Lost City that was basically this, and then throat cut. And then because the Zerk crit was so high, it would basically have a chance to one-shot every single time. And that was the Sin I originally learned. Just small things like that. So we talked about double spark as well, and its uses. Like so. It's a little bit easier to use because it lasts 2 seconds as opposed to 1 second. And it gives more damage. The problem with it, of course, is that you have to do something like gain a little bit chi in beforehand. Oh, also, interesting trick that you can use is you can double spark if you're at full chi, and then you can use inner harmony to get the last bit of chi for a 2-spark skill, as opposed to using inner harmony. So you can save inner harmony for later, for example, if you wanted to. It's pretty interesting. And yeah, you generally want to use inner harmony more when you have like less chi because it has a chance to give 3 sparks instead of 2 sparks. So if you're already sitting at 2 sparks, then you kind of lose it. Wolf Emblem is good for that extra bit last of chi, which you kind of need if you double spark and then you want to do something like headhunt. Yeah, you can do that. And it would be a waste to use inner harmony because if right now I double sparked after I was at full chi, so I'm at 1.99 chi, and if I used inner harmony, then I would obviously go back to full chi, 99. But there's a 1/3-ish chance that I might actually get 3 sparks instead of 2. So generally, it's better to use inner harmony when you're chi low. It's important to consider the healing effect of double spark as well, because if you notice, single spark does not actually increase your HP, but double spark does. So it's a pretty interesting effect because you can actually heal a little bit, and as we mentioned earlier, the heal effect will be stronger if you use it right after Tree of Protection. So there's that. So finally, we will get to the king spark of them all, which is triple spark. And triple spark just one-shots all the things because Lelo. So for example, I can just do that. And that was basically like 200 HP from killing you. So there's not really much to say about triple spark. It's really slow, which makes it easy to run away from. It's a really defensive skill because I like to view it as defensive rather than offensive. Because offensively it's just too slow. But triple spark is very nice for defense because it regenerates so much HP. It regenerates twice as much as double spark, which is actually quite a lot. It's like 1 or 2 extra hits, and it also gives you the damage reduction. It means you can basically just out-contest anyone. Interestingly, though, on this server, you can actually kill people through double spark. So someone double spark right now, for example. Right, I will kill Dante, I guess. But like, I can actually kill you through double spark just fine, like that. That's not a thing on other servers. Because the damage is so high here that even though they're taking 25% less damage, you can still just instantly kill them. So, for example, if you get their HP really low, like if you did this, for example, and their HP was like, sorry, oops. So if I get your HP really low, like I did this, then I did this, okay. So like if you triple sparked right here, I could actually still kill you right after the triple spark because all I need to do is like power dash and then I could finish. So Dante, spark when you're like about to die, I guess. Not now, not now, not now. Okay, so like this. So you triple spark now, right? But the thing is I could actually still kill you. Especially if I was sparked beforehand. So even if someone triple sparks, you might have a chance to kill them. It's not a risk I would take if you don't have dead nerves because they'll just one-shot you sometimes with triple spark. But there's always that. Oh yeah, so go for bypasses a lot more when you're sparked. Because if I'm like double sparked and then I use slipstream strike, that's 6k. That's like a bypass even if someone's at like percent HP. Yeah, so you can generally go for heavier hitting skills right at the start. I know how I said like fast skills are really good, like this. They're really nice for DD, but when you're sparked, your damage is just so high that you can just go for a bypass right off the bat. And it might just save you some time. See, it's like getting it's like getting a hand in poker, you know? There's no skill involved in getting the hand, but there's skill in using the hand that you're dealt. And because there's no innate favoring of either due to luck, the thing you basically just have to rely on your own skill in how you deal with that luck. Which makes me move on to a topic beyond Sparks. Okay, unless you guys have any questions about Sparks. Because they're fairly straightforward, except for a single spark.